In League of Legends, before you even get into a game, you need to make sure that you've picked the right summoner spells. It's basic stuff. It's a pretty big deal if you get into a game and you've somehow picked the wrong ones, but that's exactly what a Chinese pro player did in the LPL last week. And the crazy part is that his team fined him an entire month's salary for this mistake. And this isn't even the first time that something like this has happened. What is going on? Okay then, we cover all the biggest scandals, the craziest pop-offs, and the weirdest moments in esports just like this one. So if that all sounds like your cup of tea, then make sure you are subscribed to theScore Esports, and that way you will never miss a video just like this one. Alright, so the player in question is PZX, who is on the Chinese pro team Victory 5, otherwise known simply as V5. Now just to set a little bit of the scene here, V5 has not been doing very well this year. In fact, they sit at the very bottom of their 17-team league with an abysmal record of 0 wins and 13 losses. Now they're not exactly the Shanghai Dragons, but this summer they've undoubtedly been the worst team in the best league in the world. Across all their best of threes, they've only managed to win a grand total of 3 games. That's it. It's safe to say that their season is beyond saving, but they still have the opportunity to end their competitive year with their heads held high, giving it their all. So basically, this f*** couldn't have come at a worse time. V5 were facing off against Suning, who were finalists at Worlds 2020. Here was a chance to show that despite their rough season, they could still put up a good fight. However, the game was basically over before it even began. Okay, so in League, like in most esports, there's a sort of picks phase where you choose what champion you're going to play and what summoner spells you want to use. Flash is almost always the most important summoner spell to take. It allows you to blink over walls, engage onto enemies, or escape quickly from them. It basically doesn't matter what champion you're playing, you usually just take Flash. There are a few exceptions to that, of course, most notably at the minute is Gwen Top, who takes TP and Ignite, but generally speaking, you just take Flash. Just lock it in. You could even argue the whole game is balanced around it. Now your second summoner spell depends on your role. Top takes Teleport, AD Carry takes Heal or Cleanse, etc, etc. But there is one spell for one role that is undoubtedly the most important in the entire game. The jungler takes Smite. It's that simple. While other roles get their gold and XP from lane minions, the jungler exclusively farms jungle monsters across the map. As a jungler, you can use Smite on those monsters to deal true damage to them. It also allows you to buy the jungle specific item at the start of the game, which gives you more damage against them and 60% more XP from killing them. Not only that, Smite can deal a lot of damage to epic monsters such as Baron and Dragon, so it's crucial for getting the last hits on them and giving your team the massive buffs that they provide. I mean, I really don't know how else to say this, but if you're a jungler who doesn't take Smite, it's either your first day playing the game or you're literally trolling. So where do you think the last place is that you'd expect to see a jungler not take Smite? Well, how about in an actual pro game in the strongest League of Legends region in the world? How about that? During Champion Select, we can see PZX lock in Viego, but at first, the casters don't notice anything strange. And to be honest, you can't really blame them. Some regions, like North America's LCS, do actually show what summoner spells the players have locked in. Right here you can see TSM's Speaker and C9's Blabber with Smite equipped. But if we go back to the V5 game in China, you can see that they don't show the summoner spells here at all. The LPL production team probably thought it wasn't worth them taking up any screen space because they're pretty predictable and surely nobody is going to f*** up their summoner spells in a pro game, right? Anyway, the casters didn't realise that something had gone seriously wrong until the players were already into the game. PZX had taken Flash and Teleport, or TP, instead of Flash and Smite. When the casters finally realised, their reaction just said it all.
I'm really confused.
Go on.
Why does PZX have TP and no Smite?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god, I didn't even notice that! What happened?
Now, if you don't know League, you quite fairly might be thinking, what's the big deal here? Surely it's not GG already. Well, no it's not, but PZX was going to have a way slower jungle clear, way less XP, and be unable to help his team fend off ganks from the enemy jungler. A domino effect had begun.
This has to be a mistake, right? I mean, I haven't seen this if this isn't a mistake. I'm assuming this is a mistake. I don't know why you'd ever do this to yourself. Because he's not going to hit level 2 of this blue buff.
You can't hit level. That has to be, and he has to go Doran's Blade. Oh my god, it's 100% a mistake. But as per the rules, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering, oh, he made a mistake, why aren't they resetting? You as the player are in charge of your runes and masteries and your summoner spells. If you don't change it in time, that's on you, son. That is just, oh, that hurts my soul.
He's right, they'll restart a game if there's a bug or a connection issue, but failing to do what you literally learn in week 1 of playing the game, sorry mate, you gotta play it out. The casters debated about whether this was some wacky strategy that V5 was going to use to finally win their first game of the summer, but as PZX got battered in his own jungle, it became very clear that it was just the cock-up to end all cock-ups. To the surprise of nobody, Suning dominated the map as V5 bled gold and XP everywhere, resulting in a 27-minute game in which V5 only managed to get a single sad kill.
Copper lining? This is rock bottom for V5. It can't possibly be worse than this. So only uphill from this point. And I have a very simple fix, a very simple adaptation going into that game too. For V5, take Smite in the jungle. There you go.
Now this was a best of 3 and V5 did actually win the next game, but then they lost the final one, which means this won't go down as a heroic turnaround from a disastrous start to the series. It's just another loss for V5. After the game, V5 fined PZX an entire month's salary for this mistake. Maybe that sounds a bit harsh to you. Perhaps you've got your summoner spells mixed up in a game before. I certainly have. But you have to remember that these are professional players who are paid to play. They're expected to get the very basics right, especially before they even get into a game. So how did this mistake even happen? Well, PZX was reportedly playing League on his professional account before the game and had been using Flash and Teleport for a different role. And then when he got into the pro game, he simply forgot to pick up Smite again when jungling. Now I'd love to drive home my point about how crazy this is by saying that this stuff never happens, but I can't actually say that because it also happened last year. In the LPL, once again, eStar esports jungler Wei forgot to take Smite during a pro game. His team got smashed as a result and he was fined 1 month's wages. So yeah, somehow there's even a precedent for accidentally throwing a game before it even starts. All in all, it's a pretty funny story if you're outside of this team. The only real talking points here are whether or not Riot should force junglers to take Smite or perhaps restart a game if a pro player forgets to take it. I'd be interested to know what you guys think about that. I'm personally not a fan because this really is such basic stuff, and sometimes it gives us some pretty funny stories like this. Prime Minister Boris Johnson in the UK, he did an interview a while ago, and instead of saying vegan, he said vegan, and it's all I can think about. He said to the person interviewing him, "Have you ever tried one of those vegan sausage rolls? A vegan?" Like, what fucking planet are you from? Now I keep forgetting how to say this word. I get confused sometimes because I know that you guys say trolling. You're literally trolling, but I don't know that's what I'm supposed to say.